Hello, world. It's your boy, and we are back with another owner interview. We have our boy Joe Johnson here today, who, to be quite honest, has been the butt of everybody's jokes since the beginning of the season. But I'm excited to have him here, kind of hear things from his perspective for once. I know a lot of us, or a lot of people, have even, well, I guess including me, have spoken about you in their interviews, um, and use you as usually a negative example. But I thought it was fair. Let's have you on, let you defend yourself, let you explain what's kind of going on with your team. You've had kind of a successful last few weeks, so Joe, welcome to the show, my guy. Welcome to the show.
Yes, Josiah, thank you for having me. It is a pleasure to be here, and I can't wait to tell my story, our team, defend myself here in a little bit.
Right, ladies and gentlemen, this is owner interview, the Joe Johnson story. So let's get into it. Joe, you started off the season, I guess to put it lightly, rough. Things were not going well. You were what, like one in five, I think, at one point.
Yeah, lost my first five
Yeah.
out the
Okay.
gate.
So 0-5 out the gate.
0-5. Opponents averaged, I did the math, 336.6 points per week on me. Um, and
That's
that was really
tough.
tough. Yeah. And what made it even harder was it was my first year, and you mentioned that in a YouTube video previously. It's my first year doing fantasy baseball, really. So, and to start off just getting just beat to a pulp by every single opponent, even if, regardless if I'm scoring like 300, 250, like
Yep.
solid numbers, it was just really good, like weeks and unfortunate timing for just my team going up against certain teams in the league. So,
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, like it's not like you had done fantasy baseball for fun before, right? And then you hop into the baseball boys.
yeah.
Like the baseball boys is peak fantasy baseball. Okay, there a lot of smart people in the league, a lot of people not afraid to take risks, put up big points, like kind of fight, check lineups every day almost sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
And you just kind of hopped right into the big leagues. So I feel like that was a little bit of a shock. I know we had a conversation. I think it was at like the 3 weeks ago, 3 or 4, maybe a month and a half now, at the mid season where you were even just like, guys, what do I do? Like I don't know what I'm doing. And kind of since then, you found a little bit of success. You've actually ended up only one game behind Lion Lover 15, where 3 4 weeks ago that probably seemed like it wasn't even within reach. So like, what have you done to kind of change up your team? What have you done to get them out there to be competitive and allow you to come back and win those games?
Yeah, well, a lot of it started with that Zoom call that we had like 4 or 5 weeks into the year when like we were just kind of checking in with each other to see how everything was going with different teams. And, we were talking about strategy, and Isaiah mentioned his strategy, and you were asking questions on like, why do you run without a catcher? And like, why do you have like 13 pitchers on your roster? And I just I looked at that and I'm like, well, he's seeing success. And, at 0-5, at this point, people can judge me for making like outlandish moves, people do it. But, for me, I feel like I had nothing to lose at that point in the season, being as far behind as I was, and yet still like third most points in the league. I just, yeah, I had to change something up. So I dropped a lot of my position players. I was looking back at like week one, where I had Donaldson, Mancini, and like Stevenson on the bench, and like they're all gone now. I think I picked Stevenson back up, but having to get rid of those position players, and maybe I started acquiring like some relief pitchers. I think I got Helsley. I got Christian Javier from the Astros. He was in the free agency. I picked up Odorizzi just this week, or last week. He put like the 20 points up, and then he did like 10 today. So definitely just trying to mix things up with my approach from week to week, and then paying more attention to it, as we've talked about before. When we have a group chat, when people are talking, like randomly someone sends a message, it reminds you to check it. And so, as competitive as I discovered it to be, and as serious as people take it, it's definitely pushed me to take it seriously. And so now, in the second half of the season, teams better be ready, because I am 5-3 in my last 8 ever since starting 0-5. And I remember when fantasy baseball gave me 1% chance to win to make the playoffs, and with that fifth spot that Isaiah just opened up like 2 weeks ago. Now I see my opportunity, and so not gonna hold back. Gonna just go full throttle from here.
Yeah, no, that's really good, and I think what a lot of people fail to recognize is when a lot of us that have seen some success in the past say, pay more attention, right, or check your lineups. It's not something that even takes 20 minutes out of your day. Like sometimes all it is just opening the app, going, do I have starting pitchers that are pitching today on my bench? I do. Okay, switch them around. Done. I notice with your lineup right now, you're running the exact amount of batters that you can run, no bench batters. Which, if you notice, a lot of the successful teams do that. Maybe they have one bench batter, but that's just like, they're just in case if they need a couple points on Sunday.
Yeah.
But you really have picked up when it comes to pitching, and you and I actually played last week, and I scored on Sunday. I had no pitchers going. I scored 20 total points, which is actually really good for a lineup. If you
Mm-hmm.
can hit 20, 30 points with a batting order, that's great. I don't think I had any relief pitchers even pitch. And you put up 128 points on me and came back and won. And a lot of that's just attributed to having those pitchers available and ready to pitch.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we are going into the All-Star break. Gives you a couple days off, from having to really worry about fantasy. But what is your plan going forward to continue this success? Like I said, one game back of Lion Lover. There's that extra playoff spot opened up, so it is giving you, you actually have the highest chance without being almost guaranteed a playoff spot right now to make the playoffs. So what's that plan going forward?
Yeah, spent some time today just looking at my lap and like evaluating position players and then seeing what's in the market and then trying to make the decision as to like what. So like if this player did like 250 in the first half, like what are his chances in the second half?
Mm-hmm.
And considering like William Contreras, the Braves, who's in the market right now, do I want to drop like Tyler Stevenson, who plays for the Reds, who just came back from injury, but he's not like getting hot just yet? But Contreras plays for a reliable Braves team, and that team will face a lot of teams in the National League in their second half of the year. And I feel like there's more worse teams in the National League than there are, like for like Stevenson or maybe his division. But that's just a small example of what my plan is. I'm going to go position to position like Trevor Story, Arenado, and see maybe if I can make a move to get another better player. But maybe not too many new moves because I am content with my roster. And Isaiah mentioned in his interview, it's really tough when you grow emotionally attached to some of the players that you pick up who then put up like a 30-point debut or outing. And you're like, damn, like, I mean, he could do it again. Maybe I don't want to drop him, but also like if they had like 4 in a row, like great performances, there's going to be a point where they get cold and they can't stay hot forever. And that's baseball. So really trying to like, pick your poisons and identify maybe certain hot streaks that players will go on, or if they're going to be on the road for 10 days in a long homestand. That could also work to a player's success and benefit for you. So I'm just considering some of those options as we get to the break and
Yeah,
maybe break it.
yeah. Just think about the little things. Think about the things that did their girlfriend just break up with them? Like, if that happens, maybe they might not be hitting, for a week or two. Like there's little
Yeah.
things that you got to think
No, is
about.
he posting on his story? Is he like going on vacation? Is he
Yeah,
going fishing with the boys or going golf? Then yeah, man, like he's taking care of himself. And
right.
I mean, yeah, it really is the little things for sure.
Yeah.
They're making
So,
TikToks. I don't know. Yeah.
yeah, right. Make TikToks out there. Joey Votto calling you
Mhm.
out. Um, so so we've talked a little bit about the season. Talked a little bit about your plan. Where do you see yourself finishing the season? I know with it being your first season, I don't know if it's one of those years where you look at it and you go, you know what, just making it through is good enough for me. Seeing some success, finally figuring things out that you can take into next year. Um, or is this a year where you're kind of like, you know what, like I'm starting to see success. Like if I can put this together, I can make a run. What will be success for you when all is said and done?
Yeah, honestly, when I first started in the league, the number one goal was just not finishing last. And even after 0-5, that was still that was like the top goal is to just not finish last. But
Mm-hmm.
now at this point, we're in the middle of the year, and I've won a couple games, and I'm not the worst team now. Like I have like a 3 game advantage over Alex. He's the worst right now with like 2 wins. Willie Mays Hayes. Um, so I think the goal right now is to get that fifth spot and then just go for the playoffs. I have nothing to lose at this point, and everything to gain. And if Isaiah sees me as a threat, other teams see me as a threat, then I'm going to be the biggest threat that I can to everybody in this league, just to make it that more competitive and that's that more enjoyable. If I just kind of sat back and said, like I'm content with 5 wins on the year in my first year, like that's not fun. At this point, again, nothing to lose. All bets are off, and we're going all the way to the playoffs. And
Yeah.
I'm stealing that playoff spot from Danny. Absolutely.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. I know at the beginning of the year, a lot of us would see you on the schedule and we'd just be like, okay, I'll take a couple days off to check my lineup. Can't do that anymore. I have learned. With that comeback win when you came back and beat me, and to be honest, like I never really looked at you as a team where it's like I don't have to be scared of him at all, like Alex, but that's just because Alex is MIA. But you were that team that kind of I feel like you just kind of hid in the dark, hid in the shadows a little bit. You were kind of easy to clown, but in a not serious way, because not like most of it wasn't true, right? Because you really weren't that bad. It's
Yeah,
just
just
you.
unlucky outcomes. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you just had to figure out. You had all the puzzle pieces. You just had to figure out how they fit together.
Mhm.
And that's kind of where you're at now. So I'm happy. I'm really happy to see you be successful. Because the more competitive it is, the more trash talk that's going on, the more exciting it is, the more competitive. Like that's fun. That's what makes
Yeah.
it fun.
And it was a little tough in the beginning just because I felt like I kind of flopped in the draft. Not flop, but like just did as not as poor, like not as great as like other teams like had strategies like going into it.
Mm-hmm.
And and then I found myself like I drafted Tyler Malley and Jose Barrios, and they're both gone. And those were kind of mistakes, like where me dropping them just so I could fit other pieces. Maybe that didn't work. So I made some mistakes too along the way. But now that I have that experience, like next year when we draft, it's gonna be a whole different story, and nobody's gonna be able to take my team lightly.
Hey.
I'm gonna take it seriously, yeah. And now I know like kind of what the strategy is in my head, but I gotta finish the job at least this year.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, and
Yeah.
I mean it's
Strap in. The Joe Johnson train is coming down the goddamn tracks.
getting
So,
there.
so we're gonna move on from fantasy. Couple questions for you. Now, this one, people either know right away what their answer is, or they gotta think a little bit. All right.
Mhm.
What do you think that your most controversial baseball opinion is?
Controversial baseball opinion. Um, so I hate the unwritten rule that on 3-0 you have to take. That I don't like that. Anytime when you're batting in the box, any pitch that comes your way, you can swing or you can not swing. It doesn't matter what the count is.
Yep.
And I mean, I guess back in the day it was different, and baseball is definitely revolutionized over the years. But yeah, I think that it doesn't matter. Like 3-0, I remember like when Tatis did that like 2-3 years ago when he hit a ball and he was so excited, and then the manager was like giving him crap
Yep.
for swinging. Like it was an unwritten rule. I mean, they were already winning by like 4. He hit a grand slam and made like an 8-run game. But yeah, I mean, then you're gonna be pissed off at the guy for hitting the home run for
Yep.
contributing to the team's success. Like it's Major League Baseball at the highest level. It's professional sports. So I hate it. Swing away.
No,
That's
I
my
agree. I agree. Jonathan and I had a conversation the other day about how why is it people got upset at Tatis for hitting a 3-0 grand slam up by 7, right? Off a pitcher, a paid person or a person that's paid just to pitch. But nobody gets mad when you're up by 15 and hit a home run off a shortstop that's standing on the mound. Doesn't make sense. Does not make sense. So I actually like that one. I think that might be one of the best ones I've heard. And then we're gonna finish it off here because we're almost at our time. This talk your smack, man. I know you've been honestly you've been lightly treading the smack talking line all episode, but what do you got to say to the league? What do you got to say to these teams?
Yeah, I mean, keep keep your strategies secret at this point because I'm stealing every single strategy that is getting thrown in, like that I'm hearing, like in my ears. So Isaiah, the strategy with no catcher, like I was running that for a little bit and I had success. Then getting pitchers and stuff. Like now, like you better be afraid because I am taking your strategies and I'm using them against you, and you will like pay with like the taste of your own medicine. You will taste it. Nick Moffat stinks. He is awful at fantasy baseball. This guy's 4-9. He talks crap like he's the Yankees this year. No, you're not. You're the Reds. That's what you are. Josiah, you're a great player, man. I kind of, you could call it cheap for me, picking up a bunch of players on the last day 7, and going off. But I mean, it's the game. So,
Hey, I mean, that's how you
yeah.
play the game. It's competitive. You do what you can to win.
But next time you'll catch me when I'm off. My guard is down.
Yeah,
And
probably.
yeah.
I ain't gonna
So
let you get away with that twice.
yeah, you won't forget it, right? So that's it's the little things like that, man, that you don't forget. The trash talk that Isaiah said in his interview against me, like you don't forget it. We're not the Williamsburg Pharrells anymore. We're the Joe freaking Johnsons,
Hey,
and
hey.
we're coming to the top, baby.
Yeah, I do apologize for not saying your team name, but
No, it's okay.
but like Isaiah mentioned in the last episode, it just didn't roll off the tongue. I just,
No, I definitely
get me
felt
tongue
that.
tied.
Yeah, like I was watching it, I'm like, you know what? Like they're right. I need to make a change, and it's a good one. It's not like a bad change, and
Hey, maybe that helped you win.
yeah,
You know,
and maybe this is only the beginning.
it's only the beginning. Hey, it is only the beginning. I like that outlook, man. Well, hey, I look forward to next year. It's gonna be fun. There's going to be some changes that will probably be made in the league that Isaiah and I have, kind of toyed around with. But I look forward to seeing you in the league next year, talking more smack than we've talked to you this year. Hey, good on you too for just taking it in stride.
Yeah.
Having fun with it, enjoying it. But yeah, man. Thanks for coming on. I appreciate it, and I can't wait till next time, dude.
Josiah, thank you for having me. You are the best. Love these interviews, and I will see you in the playoffs.
Yeah, you actually might. All right, y'all. That is Joe Johnson. We're gonna leave it here. What a great man. What a great man. Everybody, have a great week. Check those lineups, and don't let Joe Johnson, sneak up behind you and take a win.